two of the band members first met at a summer camp, and the art teacher's assistant, they guesstimate, was probably only about 19, maybe 20 years old, and was perpetually stoned, but had a catchphrase that whenever they were starting a project, he would be like, "Okay, go." Hey everyone, it's Dr. T back with another expedition out into that amazing wasteland that is craft beer and good music. Tonight, we're going to be treading on the dark and sweet side, going with a very complexity theme, peeling back the layers of reality to find the truth underneath. Okay, maybe not that deep, but we are going to be drinking a dessert stout from those guys down at RAR Brewing in Cambridge, Maryland. Did an episode on a beer from them already. Link over here. Definitely check it out if you want to learn more about RAR. Looks like a cool place. Have not visited yet. Definitely is on my list, though. But tonight we're going to be drinking a dessert stout by the name of 10 Layers. It looks like a cake, doesn't it? Well, that is exactly what it is. Let's start with what RAR has to say about their beer. Based off the state dessert, we tried to pack as much chocolate in this stout. I'd like to rewrite that for them. It really should say, we tried to pack as much sweet chocolate as humanly possible in this stout. But they did reference the state dessert. The state dessert of Maryland is actually the Smith Island cake, pictured neatly on the label. By the way, this weighs in at 7.2%, so it's no lightweight in that respect either. Smith Island is actually a group of 3 island communities right on the border of Maryland and Virginia in the Chesapeake Bay. Smith Island's actually the last inhabited island in the state of Maryland that is not reachable by vehicle. You can't drive there. There is a ferry that services the island, but it is pedestrian only. So the only vehicles on the island are like golf carts and bicycles and stuff like that. It was originally settled by the British in the 17th century, making it one of the region's oldest English-speaking communities, where there's actually a lot of the original Cornish and Welsh brogue still incorporated in the accent. Population of the island peaked in the early 1900s at about 880 people, and as of the last census, there was like 227 people living there. But one of the things they were known for was a very intricate cake. Traditionally, it is a yellow cake cut in 8 to 15 layers. So pretty thin layers of cake, each one interspersed with a chocolate frosting, and then the whole thing is covered in chocolate frosting. That's the traditional Smith Island cake, or commonly also called the 10-layer cake. But there are variations. More common variations include coconut, fig, strawberry, lemon, and orange. So, sounds interesting. Obviously, by their description, they're going with the traditional chocolate frosted cake. And let's see what they got. Oh, it's dark. Well, that is gorgeous. Super dark brown, thick brown head, variegated bubbles, giving up the ghost a little bit quick, but looks like it's going to have some pretty good lacing coming down the sides of the glass. You do get chocolate, but it's definitely stout first. You get the roasted malts, a little bit of booziness on the nose, some dark chocolate in there, but it's certainly not chocolate first in the aroma. It's definitely stout first in the aroma. That might change as we let it warm up. This is only been out of the fridge for about 30 minutes, so it's still pretty cold. We'll revisit some of the aromas after the song, see how things are going by that stage. That is complex. You do get a lot of chocolate, but it's definitely the dark, almost bitter chocolate, which marries pretty nicely with the roasty bitterness that you get on the back end of the stout. Medium mouthfeel, not super heavy, not super viscous in your mouth or anything like that. Fairly dry. Almost drinks like the base beer might be like a dry Irish stout, but pumped up, because 7.2 is pretty heavy for a dry Irish stout. But I mean, it doesn't drink like a Russian Imperial or anything. That's nice. That is it's a nice complex beer. And since complexity is our theme tonight, it pairs very nicely with this song. We're going to explore a band that I've loved from the get-go, from their very first foray into the public eye. They have been purveyors of very, very entertaining songs that will stick with you, but combined with their videos, they're just immaculate. They're performance art. They are always, always looking for new creative ways to get an emotion across, to get a connection with what they're feeling in their music and what they hope that the person receiving that music is feeling from it. And we are talking about a band that started with 8 simple treadmills. Okay, go. Funny story behind the band name. Uh, Two of the band members first met at a summer camp, and the art teacher's assistant, they guesstimate, was probably only about 19, maybe 20 years old, and was perpetually stoned, but had a catchphrase that whenever they were starting a project, he would be like, okay, go. And these two guys who had become friends at camp would make fun of him, behind his back, because they were, 12, 13, for the catchphrase, but they remembered it, and that became their band name. Okay, go. So tonight we're going to look at OK Go's song, This Too Shall Pass. If you're not familiar, there's actually 2 versions of the video. I'll link the first version below in the notes. We're going to be looking at the second version, which features a Rube Goldberg machine. Now, if you're not familiar with Rube Goldberg machine or Rube Goldberg was an American cartoonist, sculptor, engineer, and author that was best known for producing a cartoon depicting incredibly complicated gadgets performing very, very simple tasks in super indirect and convoluted ways. He was most prolific producing cartoons in the 1920 to 1950s. If you're a Gen Xer like me, you might remember the game Mousetrap. I loved that game, and that game got me completely hooked on the whole Rube Goldberg machine idea. Well, in this video, OK Go took the Rube Goldberg machine concept and pumped it up a notch. The basic theme is it is a machine that is trying to attack the band. But let's check it out. Just amazing. No? Of course it was. You gotta love OK Go. Seriously, if this is your first experience with OK Go, dive headfirst down that rabbit hole, because there is so much more to see, so much more to experience from OK Go. Just fantastic stuff. And I was right, because now it's about, hour and 15 minutes since this has been out of the fridge, and tons of chocolate on the aroma now. You can just smell the underlying stout, but it's all chocolate forward now. Dark chocolate, sweet chocolate. Primarily dark chocolate on the palate, followed up by the stout and the booziness. But yeah, just amazing. Complex, interesting. Interesting facts about that video. That entire course that started with the dominoes and ended with the paint cannons was a half-mile long. And it took 6 months of planning. They employed a team of engineers, some of which were NASA engineers. Saw the reference, if you caught it in there, as they were going from the upper floor of the structure to the lower floor. You saw the camera going down, and it passed the Mars rover, a replica of the Mars rover. The NASA engineers on the video shoot were the same engineers that worked on the Mars rover. And I thought that was a neat little nod. It took 89 takes to get the shot. It looks like it's one continuous shot, and every time they shot it as one continuous shot. But you can see one or two small cuts where they had to splice things together a little bit. But that is a Rube Goldberg machine that runs from beginning to end. The cuts don't involve restarting the machine halfway through. They would restart the machine from the beginning. That's why by the time they got to the end of it, those people were cheering so loud. And that's why at the very beginning of the video, you see that the band members are already paint splattered. And at the very beginning, you're kind of wondering, well, what? And as you see more band members each splattered in a different color paint, you're kind of wondering what was going to come of that. There's lots of little nods and foreshadowing in the video that's really great. Did you catch the Lego race car? That was actually a race car. You see the actual car later in the video, but there's this event called the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Not Le Mans, not the big serious race, the Le Mans, spelled lemons, race that takes place each year, where people basically race crappy cars. And it's an endurance race, 24-hour endurance race, and that particular car was involved in a very spectacular accident, shall we say. Research as I might, I could not find the actual connection between OK Go and the race team that raced that car, but that race car ended up in their video, both in Lego form and then later the actual car. But there was another clever little nod in that Lego sequence where this Lego car is rolling across. If you notice in the background, towards the end of the little route that the Lego car is rolling, there's a group of people and a what looks like a marching band. That is a nod to version 1 of the video linked below that I thought was super clever. There's just so many little tidbits that they put in to increase the complexity, increase the layers in that video. It's funny, in an interview, they were talking about how it always seems like whenever they're shooting a video, there's always some type of near disaster that threatens to derail the video shoot. And in this particular video, 11 hours before they were going to be shooting, a drunk driver lost control of his car and struck a substation, knocking out power to several city blocks, including where this building was where they were going to shoot the video. So they had to scramble to get power back on just to be able to shoot the video. Outstanding. Just outstanding. You can't beat OK Go for really engaging, clever, intricate art, performance art. And that's not to, denigrate the music. The music's great. They're kind of essentially alt rock, primarily. You'll see some of the songs kind of have a cool country flavor to them, or disco flavor in a way, but they are definitely an alternative rock band, highly entertaining. Definitely leap down that rabbit hole. But if you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Do me a solid. Subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm putting out new content all the time. And I would hate, yes, I would hate for you to miss any of it. But more importantly, leave me a comment. Let me know what I should be listening to. Let me know what I should be drinking. Let me know what's on your mind. But until next time, my dear internet interlopers, this too shall pass.